Hello music lovers, it's Ben Granfelt back again with chapter 4 of my YouTube experience. Now I said that I would demo my new pedal board today, but I won't because it's not ready. Peter Hirvonen is designing something brand new on it and I'm like, okay, wow, what is this, what is that, how is this gonna work? We've added a looper to it, a pedal looper, but I will go through all this hopefully in the next episode. I should get it next week, Thursday, and if I understand how it works, then I can demo it too, but if I don't, then I will do something else. Today I thought I'll go through the rest of my guitars as quickly as possible, like 5-6 minutes per guitar, some sounds, and also I've been asked to give some playing tips and tricks and maybe some technique practicing or bending practicing. So every guitar I do something with will have a little tip with it. I've had some questions, which is nice. Thank you for sending in. Obviously the first one is, what strings and picks do you use? Well, I've been using Elixir strings 10 to 46 for the last probably 10 years. Why? Well, in my opinion, they have the touch that I really like. They always feel like they're clean strings. I can use them for 4 or 5 gigs in a row and don't have to change a new set. I also think they last long with my guitars. I used a lot of other strings before and I would have string breakage and I would have to change them every second gig, which gets to be a hassle when you got 3 or 4 guitars with you and you have to change them all and you have to do it yourself. Yikes. And so Elixir it is for me. Guitar picks, Dunlop Delrin .96, these are custom colored, ordered from the factory. The other side has a guitar kind of logo that's supposed to be a Les Paul and a Strat, but you know, it's a little bit blurry. I've had these Dunlop Delrin .96 picks since early 80s, 84 maybe. Before that I used Fender Medium or Fender Heavy. These are actually slightly smaller, and whenever I get a Fender pick now, you know, someone, hey, try my guitar and there's a pick or something, they feel enormously big. And we're talking about a very, very small difference in the size, but they're just, these are like, I can't play with anything else. What I'm using and they work. I've had white ones, blue ones, yellow ones, red ones with white text, red ones with black text. Did I say I had black ones? I have, but I've gone through almost the whole color scheme they have. A funny story is that when Gringos Locos was founded in '86, we ordered 1,000 guitar picks saying Gringos Locos, and on the back side, this was a black pick with white text on one side, Gringos Locos, on the other side there was the horse rider. That was on the first album cover. Now someone, probably a Mexican, who worked at the Dunlop factory thought, oh, these guys got it wrong, it's not Gringos Locos, it's Locos Gringos. So they sent us 1,000 Locos Gringos guitar picks, which now are quite rare, and I've seen some on eBay for interesting prices. You guys are crazy. It's just a guitar pick. Anyway, Dunlop Delrin .96, that's the picks I've been using and I will use till the day I die. Okay, someone commented that nice that I do the clips in stereo. Well, I like to play stereo live when I can. Sometimes the clubs are too small or not, the PA is not big enough. And sometimes they're bigger and better, and that's when I like to play stereo. But if it's a smaller place, I play in mono. One cabinet is enough, volume-wise, because this is another question I got, is how loud do you play? And I play quite loud. Why? Because to me the guitar is an instrument that needs the volume so you can get all the dynamics and all the texture out with just how you pick and handle the volume on your guitar. And if you think of a drummer, when he hits the snare or the kick drum really hard, you need to be able to come to the same level. That doesn't mean that I play like that all the way the gig through. We vary the volumes, we vary the sounds and everything, but I need to have this headroom to cut through properly. And I don't think I have done a gig when somebody won't come in the sound check, oh, the guitar is very loud. And my answer is, yes, with a very fantastic sound too, isn't it? So yes, I play loud, but more about this once I get the pedal board. What else? Yes, can you show me some technique and playing tips? Of course, and that's what I'm going to do in this chapter. I'm going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4 of my Strats that I have, four more guitars today. Do it shorter, a couple of playing examples, maybe a little trick with each guitar. And next time I'll do something with a backing track when I have the Amp 1 back, because I'm going to have to use all plugins now. And that's also another comment that got which plugin. It's the Guitar Rig 5. And I just take a preset hot plexi or 90s lead tone, and then I take away half of the gain, all the pedals in front, and I just adjust that. It's no secret. I think a lot of the sound comes from the guitar, from the fingers to the guitar, and then into the, if the sound is decent, I'll get by. But anyway, let's go on with guitar number 1. All right, this here is my favorite blues Strat that I have, or I would say it's my newest guitar actually. I got it last year, originally from Real Guitars in Germany, and it's made by them. It's what they call a standard Strat. I think the wood parts are all by All Parts, standard stuff, and it's been heavily modified at Kitarakelleri by Petteri Hirvonen and Timi Bergström. I'll get it right one day. Timi, you're a great guy. Actually, they're so good, I let them put their own logo here instead. What they did, they have changed the radius. Don't ask me to what, I don't really understand all that stuff. I just play guitar. Larger frets, jumbo stainless steel frets. The neck has these steel inserts so that the screws can go tighter into the neck, and the neck joint is super much tighter. The tremolo has been changed. It's a Gotov vintage tremolo, Klopman pickups, all kinds of whatnot underneath, which I don't understand, to take the noise away. The dummy coil, which I've explained many times here. The neck is quite big and fat, which is why I kind of like it for the bluesier stuff more. Big fat tone. I used this guitar on the True Colors album on a track, or quite a few tracks, but one especially was Love or Nothing with Bryn Jones on vocals. It's got a quite heavy riff, and I really like King's X and Electric Boys from Sweden. It's kind of heavy but quite funky riffs, always with a good chorus melody. And what I did was I double tracked the guitar, the neck pickup with this guitar, and then the Blues Strats bridge pickup, and pan them left and right just to get a really thick big tone. But I always, when I double, I try to do with 2 different sounds and different amounts of gain. But this is the riff played on this guitar. obviously it's tuned down to, the E string's tuned down to D, drop D, just to get this big sound. And I like to roll down the volume for the cleaner. Okay, and I thought one thing about playing, when I play this kind of stuff, I noticed that I'm not trying to be very accurate with picking, or even with playing exactly the same. I actually can't play the same things twice. I seem to forget. I get close, but I don't play exactly the same thing. For instance, it is a touch thing. I hit quite hard with my pick. I remember sitting practicing FUBB, a Wishbone Ash tune, with Andy Powell, just in the hotel room acoustically, and he got really annoyed. Do you have to hit your guitar so hard? That's just the way I pick. Obviously, when we play softer parts, I don't pick so hard, but he was like shocked that I was hitting so hard. Anyway, if I go for a note, let's say the F on the G string, I actually hit 3 or 4 strings at the same time. So if I do it, that little lick, I hit the whole enchilada, if you like. Because I want that little, if we do it in slow motion, I want this, the grease, the mistakes, the little around the notes, because they make a lot of sense. That's part of the feeling that you give as a player. So don't be afraid of. Also, it's all about expressing yourself as a player. So maybe you want to learn a lick, exactly how it goes, but then when you play it live in a band, it sounds better. You can get it to come out more as your personal statement, if you like. Same thing with the slides, you know. It's all what you give as a player. So don't be perfect, be almost perfect. Be original. On to guitar number 2. All right, here we go. The second Strat today. This is my guitar crazy custom built Ben Granfelt Strat, built by Alex Fink in Germany, Hamburg. We met, I believe, around 2011, 2012, 2013, something like that. My booker at that time, Ralph Neumann at KBN Hamburg, said, "Do you need a spare guitars for your gigs?" And I said, "Well, not necessarily." And then he mentioned that this guy builds beautiful Strat guitars, and I said, "Ooh, that's a good reason to go and visit, isn't it?" So Marco Carvo and I went down. There was, I think, around Handmade, the album Handmade or Melodic Relief, I can't remember which one. We went down to see his shop, and he had several really nice guitars, and long story short, I asked for him to build a guitar for me. I wanted to have a maple neck Strat because I didn't have any at that time, and he had, I think this is called, probably, it's not Fiesta Red, but it's Fire Truck Red or something like that. I can't really say if it's a 50s or 60s, probably more 60s C shape. Very comfortable to play. Matte lacquer on it, and also slightly relicked because I like the feel of wood under my fingers. The body has also been slightly relicked. Regular tuners, but they are staggered, which means that this E is lower than the low E. Therefore I don't need a string tree on it. I don't know what the tremolo is, but it's good and it works. This guitar actually has also Klopman pickups, as I can't remember which set. All my guitars have Klopman pickups, so that's it. I use this on the Another Day album quite a lot for some heavier stuff, but also for the little short instrumental Endless, which I already did in episode 1 or 2, I can't remember which one. Today, now I'm gonna play on it. I'm gonna use a cleaner setting, more atmospheric, and the playing tip today is that, today in this guitar episode, is that try putting away your guitar pick. Just sit down on the sofa and play with your fingers. You'd be surprised of how you play different licks differently. I use a lot of finger playing just for lead playing and melodies. I come up with really nice melodies that way, and chord progressions I probably wouldn't play if I would play with a guitar pick. So I'm just gonna noodle away on the guitar for a bit, switch to pickups and stuff like that, and then we're gonna move on to the next guitar. Alright, back with the next guitar. Sometimes you get surprised by people's generosity and goodwill. I have many guitar students, one of who is Harri Pulkkinen, who walked in to the first lesson with a self-built Strat. And I tried it out, it felt great, sounded fantastic. Said, okay, where did you get this? I built it. I said, what? You built this? And after that, he brought over some other guitars he built as well, all wonderfully done. He's not like a pro luthier. That's not his job. He does this because he loves guitars and he likes to tinker with wood and come up with, building stuff on his own, which is great. So this is something he built for me. It's the Play Me Ben Granfelt Strat. I can't remember what the wood is, but it's not the regular wood for a Strat, and it's surprisingly lightweight, has a big neck. We took some time to measure what kind of neck I wanted, and this is like a slightly bigger from my blue Strat. And for this time I also said leave the lacquer on the neck. I want to have like a real feel of I like the snappiness of a lacquered maple neck as well. as opposite to the red guitar, which has like a matte lacquer and a little bit relic on the fretboard. The same thing here, staggered tuning pegs, no string tree. This is a Wilkinson tremolo. This one and the red guitar haven't been to a Kitara-kellari for pimping with the neck stuff, and that it's not necessarily needed yet. Big Dunlop 6100 frets, nickel frets. I still haven't worn them out that much, although I used it a lot. I play it mostly with Drink Floyd because I really like the tone it has for that. This one has a little bit more vintage radius, and compared, for instance, to the red one, which is quite flat. Klopman pickups, slightly different setup this time. This is a 54, and this is, I believe, a 67, and this is a 60s. This bridge pickup is wonderful. It's really thick, big sounding. And there is a dummy coil, but this time it's with a pan pot, or like here the lowest tone. So when the tone is on 10, there's no dummy coil. If you take it down to 5, the dummy coil is on full, and then take it down to 0, it does something else. Don't know what it does, but I never use it there. It's a slightly different sound. But normally when I play, I have the dummy coil on all the time on this guitar. We can start with it off now. 5-way switch, nothing other special except for that I love that it's so light and it's super sustainy just acoustically as well. You know, my basic test, the guitar vibrates like crazy all the way, fantastic sustain. And I'm going to do the same thing I did with the red. I'm just going to play around a little bit, slightly different tone this time. And the tip from this guitar, playing tip, is when I was a kid, there was no such thing as YouTube. There was no 4-track recorders or anything like that. So me and my kid brother, we got C-tape cassette players at around the same time. I believe he got the first cassette he got was Beatles Help, and I got Hard Day's Night. And then obviously we started buying blank tapes and record from the radio whatever music we heard. But I remember when I started playing guitar, I thought, okay, how am I going to be able to hear what I just played? So I realized, hey, wait a minute, I can practice something and I record it at the same time, and then I can listen back and see what I did. And for me, in the beginning, the bands that I liked were Status Quo and Dr. Feelgood, and I was really into playing tight rhythm and try to get it to groove the British way, which is a different groove from the American groove in my opinion. So I came up with this. I would play rhythm, record it, and then I put it to play, and then I would play solos on top of it. And I thought, oh God, it would be great if I could record this so I could listen to what I do, you know, how am I playing, with my solo playing reacts to my rhythm guitar playing. Ding! I said to my dear brother, Kim, could you please lend me your C player for a while? I said, okay. So I would record rhythm on one, put it to play, put the other one on rec, and then I would have a 2-track recording studio in my own room. Fantastic. Anyway, what I'm coming to is when I play rhythm, I didn't have a metronome. I was just tapping my foot along. Luckily, I have a pretty good sense of timing. So one practice I did was that I would record the rhythm, let's say just for 5 or 7 minutes, and then I would put it on and just go crazy and play lead guitar on top of it. So what happened, obviously, I didn't have that many tapes or C cassettes, and my fantastic lead guitar playing tape was swallowed by the machine. You know, those old enough you can remember how the tape from it would go into the tape recorder, and you have to take it out, and you take a pen and you start to slowly wind it back on. Ancient stuff, I know, but cool. So I had to come up with a way of practicing rhythm guitar and lead guitar at the same time. And what I did was I play rhythm for a while, then I play a lead solo on the tapping my foot, keeping the timing. Then I play a little bit lead guitar, go back to rhythm, play lead guitar, go back to the rhythm. And I would record that, and I was surprised to see how much, or notice how much it helped my timing. You know, I would really, when I listened back to that, I realized I wasn't really rushing or slowing down. I was able to keep the timing from doing that quite a lot. So that's what I'm gonna do now, just as an example. This is me playing with myself. Ooh. Alrighty, here we have a guitar you don't often see in my hands. This is a beautiful Fender Custom Shop 53 Telecaster. I had to look at the logo, it wasn't Nocaster or something else. Telecaster, and this is absolutely, it's a lightweight, beautiful ringing guitar. Used to belong to my darling wife, who, well, actually she bought it for me when I said I have to sell a guitar, and I said I'm going to sell the Telly, and she said no, you're not, I'm buying it from you. So I charged her a whole lot of money and other services, and it became her guitar. And then I slowly realized that I like it very much, and it stayed in the family now. I used it on her album, I've used it on my album for rhythm parts mostly. I haven't really used it live. With Drink Floyd I use it for Run Like Hell, but that's about it. But wonderful guitar, completely stock. Don't ask me what the pickups are, they're Fender pickups. And yeah, I mean, I'm not known for playing a Telly, but I'll give you some nice cool rhythm guitar playing on this one, because that's what it sounds from. I you know, like Georgia Satellites, Dan Baird, the Rainmakers, all those guys. I love the stuff they have, this kind of jangly kind of perfect Telly sounds. If you go with both pickups on, you get even nastier. But the bridge pickup in itself is just like beautiful guitar, great stuff. I played, what did I do with this guitar? I think I came up with my Heroine from my Soul to You, the album. One thing which is great with having guitars that you normally don't play, when you pick them up, they seem to give you so many ideas to go different directions you normally do. And sometimes when I'm stuck, like on No Turning Back from True Colors, I had the riffs in the beginning, or the whole rhythm riffs, but I was playing it on the Strat, and I just felt that no, it's not right. I picked up this Tele, and that was it. That was the sound. That's what I wanted. But sometimes it's really cool to pick up a guitar you don't use so much. You get inspired and play something new. Well, that's it for now. This is a long episode. I'm sorry about that. But first of all, I like myself, so I talk a lot. Yes. And next time, I promise we'll go through my pedal board and my live sounds. Take care. Good to see you. Come back, please. Now I'm going to go for a beer. It's late night.